Hello, this is David DT, Trading-to-Win.com. You're looking at the chart of natural gas ETF UNG, and I'm going to present my case for possible long reversal. But first we need to go through some history to understand why this time it might reverse as opposed to prior failed attempts to reverse and go up. A lot of people lost money trying to catch a bottom, but I think this is about time. Anyhow, in the first quarter of 2008, sell setup started to develop. It was completed on 6/9. It was perfected setup, bar 908, higher and higher close of 6 or 7. With setup, immediately we defined risk zone. We could aggressively short it right away here, but for a little bit more conservative trader, it does make sense to wait and see if within 2 to 4 following bars it will not be able to go to close above risk zone. This is a textbook example, obviously. Bar 1, 2, 3, not a single one closed above, and UNG started to collapse. It started to collapse at the same time buy setup started to develop. We defined TDST support resistance line, lowest low of prior sell setup, and it could provide some support, but decline was very strong, and TDST line was penetrated on bar number 3. The mark states if TDST line of opposing setup penetrated within bar 3 to 5, we can expect more continuous move, in this particular case to downside. Setup, buy setup now completed on 9/1. We defined risk zone, so-called support zone, risk zone, stop zone, different names for that. It tried to close few bars, 4 bars, 3 bars close above risk zone. Then it went inside risk zone, so it basically stopped being long. After that, it did close outside, and it started to form TD sequential buy countdown, those blue numbers. I believe the reason why it didn't work here, setting aside general condition of the market, you have to look at the volume. This 9 setup was on a high volume, prior bar was on a high volume. There is a normal tendency to say that high volume, low produce reversals. I disagree with that. I think it just exhausts buyers, sellers, in this particular case buyers, and then on declining volume it just continued to slide down. It tried to go up first, then again on declining volume. So anyhow, this attempt to reverse failed, and it really should not have been expected that it would work, and it didn't. UNG formed channel. It been in place for quite a while, and if you look at the channel, the price action was mostly in a lower part of the channel. So when TD sequential buy completed, at the same time you see TD sequential buy setup was in progress, and the general rule of thumb is that if during completion of buy countdown buy setup exists, we wait till buy setup completes or recycles. In this particular case, buy setup completed, new risk zone is in place, price action stayed above rezone, then entered rezone back again, and as of right now, new buy setup is developing. I don't think this buy setup will be completed, because if you look at the price action, last 5 weeks it was in the upper quarter of the channel. It never happened before during all existence, all history of this channel. Channel is quite precise. And if you see here, price doesn't fall much further, but volume is pretty substantial. Not huge, but substantial. For me, it says that there is very strong buying interest. If I'm right and UNG will reverse, first potential target would be TDST support resistance line of 2583. I guess we'll have to wait a few weeks and figure out what's going on. I've been buying UNG July and October calls, and probably going to be adding, unless it's going to close under risk zone. That's all for tonight. David DT, Trading-to-Win.com.